Is Social Security being, quote unquote, protected by this administration?
I'll start in on this one. Last month, I had a really great conversation with Martin O'Malley and Ash Drew, the two former confirmed commissioners. And I left that conversation absolutely in tears. It was my first administration breakdown. And I was grateful that I had therapy a few hours later to help me sort of process all of that, because you need that in this day and age. Social Security is being eroded and politicized in a way that it is breathtaking, it is remarkable, right? Like, this is a program that, you know, as you know, millions of people rely on. We could talk about Social Security for hours and hours and hours, but I will point out that, you know, when Elon Musk and his hacker crew are trying to find fraud, they couldn't find it. And so what did they do? They closed field offices, right? They decreased, you know, access to phone lines and customer service lines, right? And so it is just remarkable to see that they're saying, you know, on the town halls and, you know, on the X accounts and, you know, on all of their official channels, on True Social, whatever the president has, that they want to protect it, and they're doing the exact opposite. You have people who have to drive 5 or 6 hours to get to a field office. Oh, and by the way, they're only accepting appointments. So if you don't have one, they're not going to tell you, oh, you drive up there and you're like, oh, bye, what do you want? Come back next week, next year, right? And that's effectively a benefit cut. It's insane.
So that's a no, folks, just in case.
It's a no, solid no.
Well, seriously, if this is protecting a program that's universally appreciated and needed, what does it look like when they're not protecting a program? So I also think there's an opportunity and a lesson here, and I want to give props to the advocates that really raised up voices when there was the rollout of Social Security offices closing and the discontinuation of certain telephonic support. And AARP in particular really made a hard push to get individuals across the country to engage and tell their story and push back, and they did retreat. There is a lesson here for us to learn. We need to keep telling the stories. We need to stay engaged. We need to be able to speak to the impact of some of these significant changes that are being made. And they need to hear from us. And when they hear from us, we have seen in some instances that there is an opportunity to roll back harmful policies. So we need to be vigilant, and we need to do the storytelling, and we need to engage.
I don't think they protect anything but themselves. And I think that basically everybody has a cell phone. When things start not being provided for older adults, all of us who have been running senior centers or been at Social Security and seen lines outside, start filming it and start documenting it and start putting it out in the media. Because I think then they start to understand. And oh, by the way, for better or for worse, older adults vote. Yep. And so if you want to mess with it, okay, but there's a lot to be paid if you do it, and you don't provide services.
Well, I think the thing that we have to always think about when it comes to this administration and the people who populate it, not just Elon Musk, but David Sachs and Scott Bessent, all of these crypto bros who were part of the inner circle, is follow the money. This is about privatization. This is about taking the economy and, they don't care that the dollar is cratering. They want a Bitcoin reserve. They have an entire idea about the future that sees Social Security as something to privatize, that sees they think everybody ought to be playing in the casino of the stock market at all times, and in the even dodgier casino of meme coins. And so I do think that, again, these things are as vulnerable as we allow them to be, but if you always say, follow the money, you will understand what game is unfolding. And, it's like the post office. The entire narrative around the post office needing to be put down because it was insolvent. It's only insolvent because they were passing rules to create insolvency. If they would just let it would operate fine. The same is true of Social Security. Instead of mending it, they put things under stress. They've done the same with public education, create they break it and then claim that it was inherently broken so they can privatize. So that's how we have to look at every move that they make and understand that it is about moving things that ought to be part of the public good into the profit column of one of their billionaire backers.
Thank you very much. Jason, go ahead. And then we have our first audience question, so 1 second.
Yeah, I would add, I mean, I think Social Security is being protected, but it's being protected by the folks in this room, by the aging, disability, patient community that relies on Social Security and AARP, as Ramsey mentioned, Justice and Aging, others who are using both advocacy, direct outreach, and the courts to protect this really critical program. And I think one of the things that we have seen from the administration is to demonstrate to us how this could be a really valuable political wedge issue, right? And to Paula's point, older Americans vote, and when you have a Secretary of Commerce, right, one of the appointed billionaires within the administration, talk about how, oh, it's not going to be the ordinary older American that minds their Social Security check being late. It's going to be the fraudster. I think about my grandfather, who's 87 years old. He knows 12 dates by heart. The dates of the birth of his kids and grandkids, and the date that his Social Security check is going to hit his bank account, because that is the income that he relies on. He can't wait an extra couple days or weeks for that check. And so I think that is an opportunity. It's a political vulnerability.